All right, so this video is on the distributive property combined with combining like terms. And I have two parts in this lesson. So this video, part one, everything's going to be positive values. So there's no negatives involved. In the lesson that's part two of this, you'll have negatives and subtraction in there. Okay, so when you have the negative and the subtraction, it gets a little more complicated. So I just want to do this easier introduction first. So follow these steps. The first step, number one, is to do the distributive property. And so just as a quick review, distributive property is when you have a number next to parentheses, and in the parentheses you have two or more things being added or subtracted together. So this is what it looks like when you have distributive property. And then you would just simply multiply what's inside the parentheses by the value outside the parentheses. So I'd multiply 2 times 3x and get 6x. And I'd multiply 2 times 4 and get 8. So that's the distributive property. If you're not familiar with the distributive property, I have a lesson on that. There should be a link up in the top corner of the screen. You can go and watch that. Second step is to combine any like terms. All right, so let's look at some examples of this. So example one, here's distributive property. We said we're going to do that first. So we have 3 times c plus 2. So let's do. So let's multiply 3 times c and 3 times 2. The 5c I'm just going to bring down. Don't forget about that. 3 times c is positive 3c. That's where the plus sign comes from. And 3 times 2 is 6, and that's positive, so that's plus. So when I distributed it, I got 3c plus 6, and I brought down the 5c. Now I have like terms of 5c and 3c. We can add those together and get 8c plus 6. So this lesson, again, this is about simplifying. This expression that we ended up with is mathematically equivalent to what we started with. This is just written in a much simpler way. And to do that, I distributed and I combined like terms. So let's look at number 2 here. So distributed property here again. And I told you there wasn't going to be any negatives or subtraction in here. So I'm going to bring down the 4x. Multiply 2 times 3x, I get 6x. Plus 2 times 5 is 10. And then I bring down the plus 4. Now in this one, I'm going to combine like terms. I can combine the 4x and 6x, and I can also combine the 10 and 4 together. So the 4x plus 6x is 10x, and the 10 plus 4 is positive 14. And again, the point of this is that this is mathematically equivalent with this, but this is written in a simpler form. So that's why this is really called simplifying. A lot of times my students want to say, do you want me to answer it or solve it? And the answer is no, there is nothing to solve or answer here. All you can do is write it in a simpler way. So I think I have 2 more for you. So we're going to distribute first. So 2 times 12x is 24x, plus 2 times 13 is 26, plus 20. Like terms. I have nothing to combine the 24x with. So 26 plus 20 is 46. That would be the simplified version. One more. So here's distributive property. So I have 5. Sorry, I'm trying to get this to scroll down. 5 times 2x and 5 times 4y. If I'm going too fast, just back it up and watch it again. That's the beauty of learning through videos like this. If you didn't catch it, if you started to doze off and didn't hear something, just back it up and watch it again. So I'm going to bring down the 3x. 5 times 2x is 10x. And 5 times 4y is 20y. Bring down all the rest of this. And now I'm going to start combining like terms. So in my lessons on combining like terms, I teach my students to pull things out of this. And so I'm combining the x's first because x's come first in the alphabet. And I just recognized I forgot to put a y here. 5 times 4y was 20y. So teachers make mistakes too. So I pull this piece out, the 3x plus 10x. And I pulled those out first because x's come first in the alphabet. I'm going to pull the y's out. When I pull these things out, the symbol in front of them goes with them. So this plus sign belongs to that 20y, and this plus sign belongs to that 2y. So I pull those out. And again, I have a video on this. If you want to look up combining like terms, you'll see a video on what I'm doing. And then the last piece here is I'm going to pull numbers out. And again, I have a positive 6 and a plus 2 here. So all these symbols you see came out of the original problem. I didn't add anything extra here. Go ahead and combine these. We have 3x plus 10x is 13. And I wrote 10. 13x is 20y plus 2y is 22y. And then the 6 plus 2 is 8. And then I just squeeze this all together. So I push it back together. So push this side and this side together. The symbols here between these, this is a 22y, so that's the symbol for that. And positive 8, so that's the symbol for that. So they're going to become plus signs here. Go back and watch the other video if you want to see that in more detail. So my final solution is 13x plus 22y, and I shouldn't have said solution. I should have said my final answer, because I didn't solve anything. There's no solution. I just simplified this. 13x plus 22y plus 8. So I hope this was helpful to you. If so, please give it a like and a subscribe. And until next time.